Cool. I'll start recording.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Excuse me.
My name is Gildas,
Mm-hmm.
and on the alternate path. Today, I'm going to present the project 7, which has to do with the news app.
Okay.
So, I'm going to share my screen with you.
Yeah.
Let's share the entire screen. Okay.
Yep.
You
I
have
can
my
see your
screen
screen.
now?
Yeah. I can see it.
Okay. So I basically worked out a functional document which gives an overview or an idea on what the application is, and some screenshots along with that, just to give some explanation related to the functionalities that.
So I have already gone through this document. We can directly start off with the demo of the app and then walking through the code. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've just launched.
Hello. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Pratik.
Yeah. I think the connection broke off. I think. Yeah. You started showing the app and then it froze. Let's start off again. That's okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my name is Gildas, and I'm currently on the Android path. And today I'll be presenting my project 7, which has to do with the news app. So I'm just going through the IDE, and I've already launched my app from the emulator, and this is what has been implemented so far.
The screen is not shared, Gildas. I can't see the screen.
Yes, I didn't.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Let me just start it right away.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, so I've launched the app. So for now, I've implemented 3 sections.
Okay.
Which is the top stories and the most popular, and then business, by making an API call to the New York Times web service, which is written in a JSON format.
Okay.
So basically, this is the main menu which was requested for, and that has been.
You're breaking off again. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Do one thing. Turn off your video. I mean, I think that should help out. Turn off your video. Just share your screen.
Okay. Disable video.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So like I was saying, these are basic functionalities that have been implemented. So the other thing that was requested for is to have a search functionality to allow users to search for whatever items that they want within the news applications. So this is where we've implemented this. So here the user has the ability to search for anything that he wants. Let's say, for instance, I'm looking for Obama. Just type Obama. Let me just correct it. Obama. Okay, so now I have the ability to choose the sections that I want to search for. Let's say I can go for politics. Then I also look for a specific date that I want to search for. So I take from 1st of November to let's say today, so which is 19th. And here I can initiate the search. So the search returns anything related to my search string of criteria that I've passed, which has to do with Obama. And I was also requested that we implement a web view. If you want to know more about the article, so any article that upon clicking on it, we should be able to see details related to the said article. That has been done as well. As you can see, I can view details related to the article that I've clicked on. And same applies to even the main menu here. The web view has also been implemented here. So another functionality that was also requested for has to do with the notification, just to keep the users updated real time in case there is a particular search criteria that is found within the New York Times database. Then we give the ability for the user to receive the notification at least once a day. So here you can put the search. Let's say, for instance, if he has to do with, let's say, Trump, for instance. And then I select politics, and then activate it to say it's going to be daily.
Okay.
Now, basically what this is going to do is going to search throughout the database to see whether there is anything matching this search criteria. For now, this has been limited only for today's date because obviously it wouldn't make much sense for us to go and search for backdated news. Otherwise, every day the same news because it's always going to find the same news. So we are only picking the current date to do the search. So in order to run it, I will just rerun the app so you can pick it afresh.
Okay.
Because I've set it up to run every second, so I'm just going to do another run. So wait for the build to finish. Okay. So waiting for the build. Oh, it's installing. Okay. So now she will just wait for a few seconds.
Okay.
I've actually set it up to run at the 59th second of every minute. So hopefully it should come up. Just wait for a few seconds for the notification to come. Okay, whilst it's doing that, I'm just going to perform a search just to ensure that there is a record related to Trump in the search criteria. As for now, when there is nothing returned, I don't do anything for now. So just to be sure. There's a lot for Trump today. But sorry, I didn't specify the date. I need to specify the date. So at least I'm sure it's only picking for today's date. Today's date. Today's date. Okay. There's a lot for today for Trump. So it should be able to bring me a notification. Let me just do a full build again.
That's okay. While you wait for the notification to show up, you can walk me through the code and we can revisit the app and see if the notification came or not. Okay, that's all right.
Sure. Okay. So for the code once it's coming up, so basically we have our main activity.
Okay.
So on the main activity, I've implemented a couple of things. This is where I have my menu, for instance, the menu where I have either notification or search button. This is where it's been done. The if case is taking place here. And then I'm storing, basically, I'm passing the intent to see what is coming, whether the intent has to do with a notification or not. Basically, I just want to recreate the form that is being displayed. So what has been done to have this menu, basically, I've used a view, an adapter list, basically. It's an adapter that has been used here in such a way that the web service call can be made, and then when the data is received, it's being put in the list and then bundled together with a view. So in order to achieve this, what was done was a recycler view. So basically, in my structure, what I did is created an adapter for each of these sections.
Okay.
Now the notification has come. So if I click on my notification, yeah, so it's a bit slow. It's kind of slow. Yeah, so if I click on my notification, it brings up anything related to Trump, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I've created an adapter for the 3 sections.
Okay.
So as you can see, this is for the main section, the top news, which has been created here. So what has been used to make the web service call basically is initially I wanted to use the basically the task, the scroller's task that runs at the backend, but I was guided. So what was used is rather retrofit that has been used for this in order to make the network call. So basically within this, the web service call is made using this base URL that I've saved here for each of these sections. So basically, if it is for top stories, I make use of this endpoint here. If it is most popular, I make use of most popular, and then business, so on. This is where I make use of this. In order to get the response, I've created these subclasses for each one of them. So for instance, for the article adapter that was created, so I get the response, I get the copyright, the status copyright, and then the response. So the response is the one that contains the entire object that is returned from the web service call that was made. So out of that, I now decide to, this is why I now decide to call up the object.
Okay.
And out of the object, I now pick each item, such as image, such as date, such as section, and everything. So this is basically where I actually even make use of my web view. When I click on it, I'm able to pull up the web view. So, this is basically where I implemented this. And obviously, the base URL of my retrofit is here. This is where I stored my base URL is here, rather, for the New York Times. This is where it has been stored. And the alarm receiver, the way I implemented it is obviously from the main activity, where everything starts from.
Okay.
From the main activity where everything starts from. This is where I have it. And this is where I put the schedule on the time at which I want to run it. So for test purpose, what I did was to run it every minute on the 59th second. So once the time is up, what it basically does is that it calls up my alarm receiver class. That is where the broadcast receiver has been implemented with this database.
Okay.
So under this, I pick the details that were saved, because when I save the notification, I save it in the shared preferences. So from the shared preferences on the notification side, I'm able to access it here from this variable. So here I pick the search query, and then I pick the session that was selected, and then for the date I pick it by default from the system, because I want to pick only today's date. The API key, I actually stored it within the property so that it will not be hard-coded or in plain text within the code. So this is where I pick it from. And then from there, I pass my parameter inside the network query call that I execute here. So in here, this is where I implemented the logic. So I just check if I have any data that comes back. So if I have any data out of the web service call, then, I check first of all rather if there is no data. So if it's null, if the object that is returned is null, that means there is nothing, there is no data found, then I don't do anything. But in case there is data, what I do is I call the notification, which is here. So by calling the notification with the data varying, what happens is I run through this. That is setting the title for my notification, setting the default message for my notification, and all this. This is where basically I execute all this logic, and then we're able to see the notification that was.
Yeah.
I think that is basically it that I did in terms of functionality.
Cool.
From the back end.
Sounds good. Cool. I have a couple of questions for you. Ready?
Yes, ready.
Okay. Let's open the code where you're calling the network to get the results from the API, the retrofit call.
The retrofit call. Okay. Okay.
No. Where are you using the, let's say, get top stories function?
The
get top stories function. You're calling the top stories API, right?
The top stories API, yes.
Yes. Which fragment was it in? So get top stories, right? Line number, I don't know. Can I see it? It's 25. Line number 25. Where is line number 25 being called from? Get top stories.
The get top stories.
Yeah. Just control click on that.
I have it within my adapter here.
Yes, correct. Good. Can you describe a little bit what the enqueue function is doing?
The enqueue function.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, when we make the call, when we make the API call, we are obviously expecting something back.
Okay.
From the call that has been initiated.
Yeah.
So and that's I think why an instance has been created, which is the callback out of the object that we are passing.
Okay. So does this enqueue function? So this is like a two-part question. Does this enqueue function, one, run immediately, and two, run on the same thread as the UI? Does it run on the UI thread?
First of all, whether it runs on the UI. No, it doesn't run on the UI.
Okay. And does it run immediately? Like as soon as you call it, does it execute and give you the result immediately?
I don't think it runs on the UI.
The second part. Did you hear the second part?
The first part I heard, whether it runs on the UI.
Yeah. The second question is, when you call this function, does it give you the result immediately, or is there some delay?
Under normal circumstance, whether it gives a direct response.
Like, is it instantaneous, like without any even a millisecond of delay, or there is some amount of delay? What do you think?
Just a minute, because this is not asynchronous.
Yeah, you're going on the right direction.
It's not asynchronous. There shouldn't be any delay. It should be real time.
I mean, yeah, it is real time, but do you think when you talk to the network, there's no latency involved?
Latency involved.
Latency isn't like it takes a little bit of time to get the data.
Okay, that's under normal circumstance, right?
No, I mean in general.
No, in general, it's quite fast. I don't.
Yeah, I mean you don't perceive it. Okay, yeah, okay. Let me rephrase it. Yeah, of course you don't perceive that, but let me put it in this way. Okay, in normal circumstances, your screen, the screen of your phone refreshes 60 times a second. Okay, that's why it's called 60 fps, or 60 hertz display. Now, so that means basically every refresh takes about 16 milliseconds. Okay. Now, my question is, when you call the network, do you get the response in 16 milliseconds? Is that the case?
Yes, it will be that fast.
No. Okay, yeah, it's not that fast. Okay, don't worry about it. That's not my question. Basically, my question is, so you told it does not run on the UI thread, right?
Understand what you mean.
I get it. Don't worry about it. It was just like a teaser question. But tell me this. You told that this does not run on the UI thread, correct?
Yes.
Right. Why doesn't it run on the UI thread? Or rather, why shouldn't you run this on the UI thread?
It is because I believe if we put it on the UI thread, that means whatever that in terms of user experience that it's supposed to happen will not happen until this is fully executed. So what it means is that if in the web service call there is a delay, the response takes some time before it comes, and it's going to hang on the user screen, and it's a very bad user experience.
Perfect. So yes, that is the correct answer. Now, don't you think the answer that you gave right now completely contradicts the statement that you made earlier? So you told, right, the response is instantaneous, right? There's no delay. But if there is no delay, you could run this on the UI thread and it would work, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Not a problem. That's the reason why I asked you the other question. Now, let me build up on top of your answer. So you told you shouldn't run this on the UI thread because it will give you a bad user experience and it will freeze the UI till the network call completes. That's correct. Perfect. Do you think Android gives a specific error if you try to run this on the main thread, or is this just a generic error?
When it gives that's from the IDE part or from
no. Like, okay, let me put it this way: when you run the app and the network call happens on the UI thread, first of all, does the app crash immediately or it just hangs?
I don't think it crashes immediately. But it would definitely it hangs because it's waiting for something before doing something else. So
you're partly right there, but there is a very specific error on Android called network on main thread exception. Okay, and that basically means is you're trying to access the network on the main thread, so it'll crash your app. Okay, cool, not a problem. That's perfectly fine. Okay, cool. Can you explain to me the life cycle of an activity and like just walk me through the different phases the app is in those different life cycles? You don't have to go in order, by the way.
The life cycle of an Android activity, like when we put like on start. If I can still recall that, I think we have.
Okay, cool. Let me help you out. Okay, so there are a few different life cycles, right? So it starts from on create, then it goes to on start, then it goes to on resume, then there's on pause, on stop, and on destroy. Okay. Let me limit this scope for you. Okay, I'm giving you 3 life cycles: on create, on start, and on resume. In which of these life cycles is the application ready for the user to start interacting with?
Is it on create, on start, and on resume?
Yes.
Okay.
So when will the app be visible to the user and he can start touching and playing around with it?
Okay. Just like this. It's not on resume, obviously. So on create, that is where it actually comes up. I would say right from the on create, we have the UI.
No, it actually is visible and ready for interaction in on resume. Okay. Cool, not a problem. It's still like your second Android project, so there's still a long way to go. Not a problem. Cool. So from my end, the project does meet the requirements. Okay, you've done a fantastic job with the project, so good job on that. My recommendation and feedback for you would be, it's still very early on in your Android journey, so focus a lot on the fundamentals. And the fundamentals in this case would be, learning the different components of Android really well, right? There's just a handful of components in Android: broadcast receivers, services, activities, content providers, and that's what I can think of. Okay, and if you're learning activities, one of the most important pitfalls and one of the most important sources of unnecessary and unintended bugs is when developers are not really familiar and proficient with handling the life cycle of the application. Okay, if you don't know what each life cycle method does, you will write a particular piece of code in the wrong life cycle thinking it would do something, but it will do something completely opposite. Okay, and it's kind of your fault because you don't know it, but it can be easily avoidable, right? When you know, okay, this is when the user will start interacting with the app, so maybe I should do this part here. Okay, and maybe I should close my database in on stop or on pause or on destroy. Why would you pick one of these life cycles among the three, right? So to make these decisions, it's very important for you to know what exactly are you working with. Okay, that's basically about it from my end. That would be the feedback, and yeah, I'll approve the project. Will reflect on your dashboard end of day tomorrow. Okay, but do keep in mind the feedback and try to focus on the fundamentals, at least for the next few months. Okay,
Okay.
cool. Any questions for me, Gildas?
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Perfect.
That's true.
Okay.
Because that's one thing that I was also. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, I can still understand. Like, it's not been that long for you to just master the life cycles. But the most 6 important ones would be, on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy. I mean, that these are the only life cycles. Okay. So if you just understand what each of these life cycle method does, it will help you a lot. Just figuring out problems or trying to solve problems in the right place and right time. Okay, don't worry, it's not like that big of a blunder. With certain amount of practice, that can always be improved upon. Don't worry about it. Sounds good?
Okay, that sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, Gildas. Thanks for getting on the call with me. It was lovely talking to you. Okay, I hope I get to see you again in the future, and yeah, have a good week ahead.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Yeah. Bye.